look here, there's an obelisk. We don't know how to get there, but it's next to a French castle here. So this is the ultimate proof that the aristocracy, they come from the pharaohs. So here's a big obelisk in front of, there's even a row here, in the castle. So who still doesn't believe me with the aristocracy, that they come from the pharaohs? What do you want, This is the ultimate proof. So this is Isis, and the obelisk, that represents the sex, the sexual organ of her man Osiris. But we don't dare to go further because they'll call it cops here. They'll feel it. I'll come back another day. With two Frenchies, they don't dare. I'll go myself. So you think the pharaohs just disappeared? They're not here anymore. So this is on a highway in France. Look at it. So if you look at it from one side, there's one obelisk with the sun hieroglyph on top of it. And if you look from the other side, there's one of them or two of them, like Yashin and Boaz. And at the end, over there's another one. There, full of it. And they're still here. It's the aristocracy. They became the aristocracy, and now they're ruling in Freemason lodges. Church in France with a funny cross in front of it. It's hard, to wake up in a tent. I'm sweating like a pig, in the sun here, and I'm sleeping next to this Moloch or whatever it is. It's hot here. Yo. So here it is. This is the Moloch, and in the middle here, you would say this is the sun. There are 12 pillars. And I was wondering, why 12? Why not 13? It should be 13, There's the capstone. You would say this is the moon. But this is the star or the planet where they come from. And this is the soul. So this is the 12 pillars, and this one is number 13. It's always 13 because of the Osiris story. I already told it to you. And Ba, Fo, Me, in the Demotic language, it means Ba, it's a soul, Fo, it means to arrive, Me, it's the pyramid. So the soul arrives in the pyramid from here, from wherever these creatures come from, into the pyramid here. This symbolizes a pyramid. This is the Moloch. And it's highly significant, highly occult. I've never seen a thing like this before. It's in the middle of a forest here, it's all forest around here. Found a nice lawn here, so it looks like a camping place here. Sort of a motorway passing by, and I don't know. So this is it symbolizes the arrival of souls. Well, we already know that the aristocracy and the ones ruling us through the New World Order, they're not really human. They're giving us all these wars. They're not like us, and their base is Switzerland, where we are very near to Switzerland. And yeah. Well, the Mediterranean is packed, and the lakes as well. I got the whole river here for myself. How beautiful! It's just, I never heard of it. I think it was called Las, A-S-S-I. There's a lot of water coming through in the winter time, I think. So that's deep enough for me. I just lie in it, and take it easy. Omitakuyasin. Yeah, I'm swimming in another river called La Durance. beautiful here. It's so big, there's nobody here. It's really big here. La Durance. Very nice. Cold, nice, clear water. So this here is the famous French river called... Damn, it's biting me. It's a hornet. Called Le Verdon. See, it's beautiful, really. France is so beautiful, a lot of nature. So this is really in the very south of France. And the castle is just on top. I slept next to the river here. And yeah, no wonder the Templars wanted to stay here. It's a little paradise. So the place where the Templars castle is, about in Gréau. It's in the southeast of France, so not very far from Switzerland, and they are together with Bad Krozing. If I do remember well, that's where they had some high school shootings in Bad Krozing. So you can feel the atmosphere here. It's loaded, you know. It's really loaded here. It's a center of Freemasonry and Templars. So it says the road of the Hospitallers, the ones who before the Templars. So apparently it's here. Apparently this is a Templars castle in Gréau. Let's have a look. So apparently this is a Templars castle where they're doing festivities inside. It says Château de Templiers. Let's have a look. It's on the hill here in Gréau. You see the whole valley, more from the other side. Oh well, that's all, you know. Let's go in. So tonight they're going to show a film here and here, so there's not much to see actually inside the castle. So it's controlling the entire valley from the castle. The Templars did, yeah. Oh, and here's the other side. Well, there's not much to see actually. See the other side of the other valley. So it's a good place, very strategic, where they can control it all. And well, that's all. So there was the war between the second and the third sons and the first sons against the primogenitura. They also wanted to rule. And out of these guys came the Freemasons, and now they rule the entire world. Pharaoh, me. So that's Pharaoh's second and third, fourth sons. The Templars castle. This is a Templars castle in Gréau, in the south of France. Not very much to see anyway. So out of these guys here were born the Freemasons, their political wing, to consolidate their power in a time of peace, after they had conquered everything. And before that they founded Switzerland, just 15 years before the French king arrested them all. Well, not really all. So it was these guys here who organized the French Revolution and the Russian Revolution. They terrorized the people and they starved the people by using Swiss mercenaries who were at the La Bastille torturing French citizens. And so the people would stand up against the king and decapitate him, and that's what happened. So then the second and the third sons and the New World Order, the Freemasons, they took over out of the Templars, which is their military wing. So when the attacks took place in Nice on July 14th, on their national holiday, which is not a national holiday by the for the French Revolution. It's actually a it's a reminder for them, you know, that they for the transition from the old world order to the new world order. And actually I was hitchhiking the whole day going to Italy, and at a certain moment in the afternoon, on July the 14th, though, I saw about 20 big police vans. It was crawling with cops. So they had an exercise going on that very day. You know. I'm so sorry I didn't film it. I don't have any more place to upload it, and I'm really tired. I was hitchhiking, and I just didn't do it. I just didn't care, you know. Yeah, and I didn't think about it really. I thought, well, it's just another bunch of cops. And then at 9 o'clock, a South African, he took me hitchhiking to Napoli in Italy, and 1 hour later was the attack in Paris. There was as always, a police exercise. I saw them. I even talked to one of the cops, who was quite friendly actually. And in Italy, when we passed by next to the village where we were staying, we passed by with the car with my kids. We saw the arrest of 3 suspected terrorists. Only some guys who showed who lent his. I put the link somewhere, maybe if I can find it again. We just passed by when it happened. It's funny. I'm just being there all the time, you know. Real funny. Yeah. But in Italy there were just some guys who, some drug dealers, you know, a guy who lent out his phone to somebody else and then left a picture of a woman with an assault rifle, Islamic stuff, and that's all apparently. Well, this is what it all started with, and this is why we have the terrorist attacks going on. The Templars. So that was a castle by the Hospitallers, and later on the Templars came out of them, and out of the Templars came the Freemasons in Switzerland, and the parliaments, parler et mentir. So here in the town where the Templars castle is here the symbol of the Templars and a Freemason thing here on there, which I have on their skirts. And also got this, the crown here, all these coat of arms everywhere in the streets. I got an empty 2-litre bottle, and you know, you see the traces going to the, you know, the fountain here. So I just took a shower in the middle of the village. We're looking a bit odd though. There's the mayor's office, and just next to the mayor's office, well, who cares? Tourist information is here. It's wet, my shower, yeah? Tourist information, a lot of tourists. What's he doing, yeah? Church. And the world domination. So I'm still here where the old castle is. Here it says, hey, Rue des Templiers, the Road of the Templars. It's an interesting place. So in the castle tonight they're going to have some free films tonight, and it's the night of the stars. Yeah. Oh, interesting. The Templars Castle. Freemasons. That's where it all started, and then I went to Switzerland. So I'm here in inside the Templars castle, they're having court-métrage, some short stories. So it's all free, so it's amazing. Me, Sean Ross, being in the Templars castle, all free. Imagine. So there's the castle by night. Fantastic. I had a fantastic evening there. You won't believe what all happened. I went up the stage, you know, and talked about the pharaohs. That's what I did. Me? Pharaoh. So here's again the Templars castle. So as it was impossible, I walked up the hill, as it was impossible to put my tent here. I didn't even want to sleep on all these stones. I found this table here, so I slept on the table. This morning the farmer of the olive trees here, he came and talked to me, very nice, and we talked for hours. Didn't say a word. In Switzerland they would make a hell of a problem out of it. You're sleeping on the table like this, It's so different, Yeah. So, interesting. He told me a lot of things, very interesting about the region and the history. So, Templars Castle from the other side of the another angle. This is in history a very important place where it all started, the New World Order, what we are living now. This is the base of it here, before they founded Switzerland. It's maybe the place where it really started. And it's very strategic too. You look at the hills and and down there is a river called le Verdon. On the other side is a river called la Durance, and it's all getting together here. So it's very fruitful, and those rivers they all went to the Mediterranean, to Marseille. And they were using rafts in those days, which the old man explained to me again. So they had access from here inside the country to the sea, transporting furs and wood and all sorts of things. And of course, at the sea, the Templars had an enormous fleet, going to Jerusalem. So they even took people on the rafts, I suppose, to go and fight their war for their money, just like all the wars, just like the Second World War. We fought the wars and they put it all in Switzerland, all the money, and got rich, The Nazis, the Nazism of the rich, they mobilized the Nazism of the poor. And they fought their war so they could get richer. Now the same thing is going on in France. Le Pen, the Front National, they're billionaires and lawyers, and they try to mobilize the French people, through those false flag terrorist attacks, to vote for them, so they can get rich. You can even see Marine Le Pen with a Swiss flag. She says, "I want a Swiss system." That means the Templar system, the New World Order. It's very interesting here, the coat of arms where the castle is here, in Crioux-les-Bains, the Templars castle. So it's again red, white, and blue, the colors of the pharaonic crowns. And on top is the per tasser, so that's next to the crown and on top, which is the lower Egypt, so the per tasser, meaning the red house, where you see it's red here. And that's where the ancient Egypt, most of it is, the big pyramids and Alexandria. And then down there, is the White House, there's a lion, a wolf in it. So they are the, probably the main drive behind the New World Order and the military wing, like the White House in America, and down there is the people, they're depicted as squirrels, the war crown. So they do the wars for them, a bunch of squirrels, an army of squirrels, and these are the wolves, the generals, and then there's the crown. See, they always put it everywhere, all this pharaonic stuff, And this coat of arms must have been there, for, I don't know, hundreds of years, 1,000 years, I don't know. And if you look at the map, so here's the Templars castle here. Here I filmed the satanic, the pentagram in front of the church. And inside the church there is a painting of the founder of the of the Order of Malta. So it's all in the same region. Here on the motorway there's all these obelisks I filmed for you, and here I filmed in the backyard of a castle a big obelisk. So it's all in the same area, next to some rivers, so it's quite, you know, Lac de Sainte-Croix, the Holy Cross lake. Yeah, so you see it's all gathered together here. I'm not going to film it all. So here in this church again with the pentagram in front of it, next to the town where the Templars cross is. This guy is called Gérard Tank, this one Tank, and he's the founder of the Hospitallers, and it's maybe 10 kilometers from where the Templars castle is here. And so he's the founder of the Order of Malta, that guy here. So this is this church here in Manosque with a pentagram on it. Yeah. Yeah, look, there's the compass on the door opposite where there's the square. Look in the middle there, there's a square. And here in the middle is the sun hieroglyph there. So this is a wooden door on the other side of that church where the pentagram is on the ground there. Oh, wow. Yeah, Mrs. Isaac is sitting with her ass on a goat or on a lamb. Now what does that mean? You know, if you walk in the night you see a lot of more things, you know. I don't know. What is that? I suppose it probably symbolizes man, isn't it? You know, sitting with her ass on man. Man is the lamb. Yeah, oh man. Why else would you be sitting on a lamb or on a goat? Oh, it's weird, eh? Probably means she's dominating man, you know, as the Isis statues on the Omaha beach, right? The horrors matrix. So I can't see the LCD screen because of the sun, but it's all the same area. It's like here, you see, next to Italy in the south of France. So here was the Templars castle, and here was the other, you know, the castle with the obelisk in the yard, and just next to it here was the airplane crash. It's all very near to each other. The German wings. See, I drew a little airplane on it. On the Le Col de Mario. It's all next to the Templars. So I'm here in an old Roman town called Rie, and this is one of the last three baptistères. They call it baptistère, paléo-chrétien, where the old Christians were baptized. There's only three left in the world, and this is from the 2nd century after Christ. On the other side, there's a church with a pyramid on top. There's some Roman columns there. Well, I can't see anything. Yeah. I'll go and have a look at it. There it is. So there's a lot of Roman, you know, digging is here. Of course, my backpack. Well, Rome is pharaonic, is Pharaoh. You know, there were Cleopatra, you know. They took over control, but even before that it was pharaonic. Caesar, as in a sarcophagus, king and demotic. He was a pharaoh, like the rest of them. I already told you about that. Pyramid, the pharaohs, with a ball on it for the world domination. And there's the cock, La Marianne. It represents Horus, the child of Isis, the national symbol of France. I'm getting tired of it. I'm not sure if you can see it, but there's an octagon there in the middle, you know, and I think there are 8 pillars. So this is already octagon, you know. the 2nd century after Jesus, you know, it was already under the demonic cross of the Vatican. So, you know, it was not, it didn't have to do anything with real Christianity anymore. How many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, 8 pillars. And because they know what the 8 pillars mean, and there's also, they put the light there in an octagonal form. And it's also very hard to film here. They put the fleur de lis on the pillars on top of it. So I hope you can see that. So this is baptistère. It shows here what it is. Baptistère for the baptism. Very old, but it was already under the demonic cross. And they call this game la boule romaine. It means the Roman balls. Pretty hard ball. Probably have been playing it here in this town like for 2,000 years, but I've got no doubt that it is pharaonic in its origin. This here is some holy source again of Saint-Maxime in Riez, where the Roman village is. I'm going to the obelisk. You see, here's the Roman settlement of Riez. And you can see how you control the entire valley here. It's incredible. And on top of the hill here they built I thought it was an obelisk, that's why I came up here. So this is just a spy post, you know, there's the Catholic Church there. They built a chapel here. But you can still see the army is still around here, you know, traditionally. Here, there, and there, antennas. And there. Air Force, the army. There, see? There as well. Traditionally. And so they could have a good life here, you know, like conquering Europe here in the valley. And just control the entire entrance and the entire way through here. Just put a few lookout posts on the mountains here, on the hills. And so it's in Riez, that's R-I-E-Z. So now I'm going to take that road there to go to the Templars castle there. You know, there were no, actually, before the Middle Ages, there were no European castles. So that means there were no very real European kings at all. Because those pharaohs who called themselves the kings later on, they all came on the back of the Roman army. And then they started building castles, like in the Middle Ages and in the, you know, the year 500 maybe. But not before. There were no castles. They're all pharaohs. There are no European kings and queens. They just don't exist. They never were. They never existed, you know, before the year 0 when the Romans came. It's all foreign power ruling over us. The Romans, Tsar, sarcophagus, the king and demotic, the Tsar. And there are no European kings. Wake up. There never were. It's all a lie. Another castle, it's called Allemagne, Germany. Allemagne used to be some sort of a goddess. You can see the world domination, there's all sort of animals here. So this is from the 12th century. And I'm going to a Templars castle. Look, it's a Hungarian van, and they have written the S as big because there's lots of Nazis in Hungary and always have been, you know. And why, you know. And next to it, here on the cemetery, And there's a big obelisk here. You see? Where is it? No, I don't see it. Yeah, there it is. Big obelisk. Pharaohs. SS for Isis and the obelisk for a husband for Osiris. It's everywhere. Now here's a coat of arms of Valençol. The tourist information here with a Templars V on it. So the castle up there, of course it's a Templars castle. So that's the name of the place. That's why Sole, the sun. That's why there's the sun probably in the coat of arms. The sun and the coat of the Templars V. Wow, Ri and the V. And there is a castle here, so I'm gonna have a look at the castle. Even here on the fountain, there's the sun and the V. Oh. Isis, let's kill the man in the Horus Matrix, and we'll have the. So here's the octagon, as I've shown you in my videos, like Octagon, the Empire of Darkness, in an old church in the east of France. This is the Queen of Spain, very dangerous woman, very extremely dangerous, with some horns on it. I don't know what's that, snake, pharaonic stuff. Well, pharaohs anyway, you know, the other bloke here. This part in the east of France had been occupied by the Spanish. Yeah. It's an interesting church, I'll show you. It's all like round here. Yeah. So there's the moon. It's like the crescent moon or half moon. And they say there's a half moon because the earth is in between it and it makes a shadow all the way to there. It's not true, you know, because the sun is out, it's day. I mean, look at the shadow here. The sun is shining directly at the moon, so by that theory, I should be seeing a whole moon, which I don't. Oh, it's a lie. So how come there's a crescent moon or a half moon? How come? Look at the gate with the crown and the balls, you know, for the world domination. It's all there, you know. A lion, and you know. And here it even says, Aqua Park Isis. Yo, La Commanderie. That's of the Templars, a stronghold of the Templars. In French, it's called La Commanderie. So this is in Dole. I'm in Dole, D-O-L-E, next to Salins-les-Bains, where the other Templars were. It's a real stronghold here. It's really, yeah, if you look at all the images. So this is another Jesuit chapel here. Looks horrible. And in Dole. So next to the other Jesuit ones in Salins-les-Bains. It's not very far. It's full of Jesuits here. It says Chapelle des Jesuits. Yeah. Now let's have a look at the other side. There's the sun hieroglyph here. And there's another Jesuit church here. The chapel was a bit big for a chapel. It says Collège des Jésuites. So that means there was like a school for them, you know. It's not very far from Switzerland, and next to the other place in Salins-les-Bains. Yeah. I'll read it all in English here. Jesuits. Now, you see, it looks a bit like a castle, but you know, the Jesuits have a general, which is the actual Pope, who said, well, you know, homos, it's okay, you know. And this is supposed to be a guy who believes in the creation of God. You can see it. This is Dole. This is the place here. And they even have a Place des Templiers, Halle des Templiers, Rue des Templiers, Commanderie. Ah, they've been here strong, all right. It's the house of the Templars here. So this is official, you know. All sort of Templar stuff here. And there's a restaurant, it's 222. I don't know about it. It's probably a code of the Templars. There's like a little chateau, like, you know. Templars thing here. Here as well. The Templar stuff. Now I'm going to show you the road and of the Templars. Here we're being watched all over. It's horrible here. Everywhere, you know. So I'm back at this Templars restaurant here. And you know, if you're walking, you know, you think about things, you know. And then I suddenly, after having been to this Templars stronghold, I suddenly knew. And this is on the other side of the line, you know, going to there. So 222. If you think of three numbers, of course, you think of 666. Yeah. And 2 plus 2 plus 2 is a 6. And if you turn it around, you know, I turn it around. Is it difficult? Oh, it's still. The camera adjusts itself. But anyway, maybe if I do it like this, maybe you see it. But anyway, if you turn it around, what's up, it's down, and what's down, it's up. That's their law, isn't it? So, if you turn this thing around, you almost get a 6. You know, look here. This is a 6. So it does say 666, and of course you don't want to call your restaurant 666. And maybe like in the Middle Ages, or you can write a 2 like an upside down 6, you know. So then again, here's this Templar stuff here, Maison du Templier. And I've never seen a town with so many cameras all over. Look at it, because this is still a stronghold. This is where they started, where the Freemasons are. This is where it all is. So I'm here in the 222 restaurant, the 666 restaurant, and it was a chapel. Imagine a chapel with 666. You're being filmed everywhere inside, so well, you don't really want to eat here. There's another camera, and another one. So you can see it was a chapel. Look at it. And this is an area where they like to, it is a chapel, you can see that. Interesting. So this was a Templars chapel on the other side of the road going to the, it even says Chapelle des Templiers. Look. Chapelle des Templiers. And here I got 4 times the 2. And that makes 8, octagon. So, an octagon is the number of the Templars. You know, so they got both here. They got the 666 here, and they got the octagon here. So now I understand. An octagon, you know, if you draw a line around a Templar's cross or a Swiss cross, you get an octagonal form. So this is octagon. That's why there's a 222. Yeah, fantastic. So this is their card of the Chapel of the Templars. It's a real Chapel of the Templars. In this place, it's called Dole. And it's a code, you know, they gave it, it's a strange name for a restaurant, isn't it? Just 4 numbers. And outside it's 3 numbers. So, yeah, it's a 666 outside, and their card inside, it's 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2. It's 8, that's octagon. Well, guess who's gonna eat here? What kind of a 6 is this here? So this is the inside of the chapel as I filmed before. So this is their card. And they say that this means octagon is good. There you go. It's everywhere. Just look out, folks. The chapel of La Chapelle des Templiers. The chapel of the Templars. They're still there. You think they really left, you know? They go out and eat, you know, they're still there, everywhere in the world. And out of them came the Masons, and they're gonna eat here. Yeah, it's the real estate, Agence des Templiers, you know, the real estate of the Templars. And buy a castle here. They're watching us again. Here in Dole it's horrible. They're watching us everywhere. Oh, what a place, man. So let's find the road of the Templars. It's all very aristocratic in this Templars place. Apparently this is a school, a college, you know, kids going in there, you know, it's all very aristocratic here in Dole. Look at it. All over. They even have a big pyramid with a capstone here in Dole, you know, next to the city wall here. I'm getting out of here. I want to stay here. Place des Templiers, the square of the Templars. Oh, there it is. There's the road of the Templars. We're going to have a look. So this enormous place is called La Commanderie. La Commanderie in French is a stronghold of the Templars. So there's no doubt they were here, you know, if you see all the cameras here, I mean, they are the towns they do first, you know, their towns, you know, for the total control thing, you know, because they are the new world order. So here around it, you know, there's an old bridge here. So this enormous complex here, this is called La Commanderie, where they have concerts now, and you know, so still the place where it's all going on, like, you know, next to the river, of course, very strategical, and well, Freemasons, Templars, it's all here. So it already started with a Roman bridge, which is just behind here. Romans, it's the same thing, you know, it's all pharaohs. Yeah, you'll read it yourself. This is a stronghold, and this is the building again, you know. The Templar stronghold, this is what they call it basically. The Templar stronghold. Music, concerts and all that, you know. I'll show you the bridge, which is just behind here. So there's that old Roman bridge just mentioned here. I suppose people bathe here in the summer. It's a clean river. It's a beautiful area, really, in the east, northeast of France here. And there's the Templar stronghold again. Here it says Rue des Templiers, the road of the Templars. And look at the coat of arms of Dole, you know, the Sun Templars, you remember, in Switzerland, they killed them all. And white is here represented, you know, the White House is represented by gold. A lion, and blue for the war crown, red for the original pharaohs in Lower Egypt, the Père Tasser. Yeah, actually, sometimes they make the red smaller because there are less of them, which are the first sons, the primogenitura, red. As white is more the older descendants, also the second and the third sons and everything. And this thing here, they call it, I think this is the one, the Hall of the Templars. Let's see if I can find a shield for you. So there it says, the Hall of the Templars. So if anybody passing by, coming in here in Dole, this is called D-O-L-E, like being on the Dole, like, you know, parasiting on somebody else, well, that's what they did. Then they know the road over there is going to the Templar stronghold where Jacques de Molay was. So this is the way they organize as well, you know. I'm trying to find some sort of a Templars stronghold here. Here, look, here's the stairway going up here. Shall I take it or not? What do you think? Oh, let's go. No, I can't resist it. So let's have a look what this is going to. Get all the bushes here. Oh, it's quite old here. Next to Dole. Wonder what I get, hey? I wonder if this is it, the Templar stronghold. I don't know. Could be. So here it is. The village is even called Le Temple. Even the founder of the Templars, Jacques de Jacques de Molay, here he is. Jacques de Molay, he was here. And it says that it is haunted. So I don't understand the coat of arms. What is it? And it's next to the second biggest forest in Europe. It's amazing here. Really amazing. And Philippe le Bel, so the King of France. It all says. I don't know how to film it like this. And the next line. No, I'll probably do it like this. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah. So, and it was built here during the Crusades. 1132, 1291. Very important date. Switzerland was founded and was the end of the Crusade. Very important date. It's really. So here it is behind the wall. Even the road is called Rue de la Commanderie. I went to the tourist information, well, they didn't know anything about it. So this is really, I think this is the most important place of the Templars. There's a nice river just there, where the trees end there, there's a nice river. And well, there it is, behind the bushes. So I'm going to have a look. The octagon is here. And that's me. Pharaoh there, me here. And here it says the people to whom it belongs now. It's Roland Gobert. Roland, typical aristocratic name. Monique Roy Gobert, Roy, the king. So very aristocratic. And here it says Chevalier. The knights, and Commanderie, that means the stronghold of the Templars, and it's in Falton, la commune de Falton, Saint-Denis le Temple, that's what it's called, Saint-Denis le Temple, les Dôles. Yeah, the Order of Malta, it says, la Maison du Temple, yeah. So again, this is very, very important. This is why we had 2 world wars as a transition from the old world order to the new world order. Terre des Templiers, the ground of the Templars. Terre de Mystère, l'Armeau du Temple. Oh yeah, it's haunted. They have strange animals like le vouivre, and it's haunted. So, well, these guys were completely into black magic anyway, So, well, let's have a look. Shall we go? Rue de la Tuilerie, So that's where the king lived, I think, in his castle, La Tuilerie in Paris. Very important. So this is all next to it, There's a. So here it is. I'm not sure if I can go in here. I think it's people are living here. So why is it haunted? Because like Freemasons do, they do sacrifices, black magic, Satanism, as is still going on, especially in Switzerland today. That's why we had the satanic ritual on June the 1st, 2016. 2016. I didn't have any access on a computer, so I couldn't make any videos about it. Yeah, well, this is very, very important here, and it's next to the other temple in Salins-les-Bains, not very far. We even have a temple here, so they still have doing things here now. Of course, the Freemasons are gathering together here. It's very secluded here, Doing, he looks like an Arab anyway, like a assassin. Octagonal, yes it is, and you see there's a big Templars cross there. I don't know what they do with it. There, behind it, and
not sure if I want to go in. At least not from this side. It looks still I don't know. Even in the wall, here's a cross here, look at it. Very important place. Even Jacques de Molay was here, the founder of the Templars. They're just opposite the people. Their name is La Croix. Well, what do you guess, eh? What do you know? It's just opposite this thing here. The cross. People are being called the cross. Oh, there it is, the cross. It looks evil. It feels no good here. Yeah. So these people of the cross are just living next to it there. What does it say here? A lot of funny symbols. 1771. IHS. And a cross. Templars V. Now here it says Commanderie du Temple. Commanderie du Temple. What does it say? 1174. 1132. Okay, 1132. I'm not sure this is old. Well, let's ring the bell then. Somebody told me some English are living here. Well, let's ring the bell. Okay. There you go. For attaching the horses. There's another one there. This is interesting. It looks like the Vatican, doesn't it? Like the keyhole. Why do they make this form like this? They don't do anything like this, you know, without a reason. Like the Vatican, yeah. This is stables next to it. Well, even Jacques de Molay was here. So this is where the New World Order started, you know, just like the castle I filmed in the south and the temple next to it. They had a lot of strongholds, having contacts to each other. Well, I'm not getting in, you know, there's nothing to see anyway. Maybe there is, but I don't feel like it. So here's the old Templar wall, going all the way around it. Well, let's see to the end where it goes to. You know, it's forbidden to get in. Private property. It even says danger. You know, they even dare to threaten us. You know, it's still the ones who are in power being here. So it's not this Lady Roi, and you know, which was on the shield. There's some English people. But of course it's all the same ones. So this is very, very important, and it seems like in the east of France, the northeast is a big stronghold of the Templars here, and of course Gréoux-les-Bains, the castle. And just behind it here is the river. Even the village is called Le Temple, commune de Falton, next to Dole, about 5 kilometers walking. And here's a side arm of the river. So there's again the stronghold of the Templars, and this road is going to Dole, exactly where is the Place of the Templiers, the square of the Templars, the Rue du Templier, the road of the Templars, everything. Exactly where this road is going, it ends up where all this is. At the tourist information they couldn't tell me a word about it, so you have to find it all out yourself, you know. They didn't even know, you know. Well, they didn't seem like they wanted to work, you know, they just want to get their money and don't work at all. So this road here is going exactly at that side of Dole, where immediately it ends up at the road of the Templars and the square of the Templars, and you know, well, this is the way they do it. And I saw somebody going in there. Let's have a look. So that door there is probably made new. But anyway, that was the entrance of the order. What do we see here? Looks a bit like a fleur. Yeah, it's a fleur de lis on both sides, of course. See, here's a fleur de lis, and there's one, and in the middle, and sort of a cross in the middle. Wow, fascinating. Well, these people still know what they're doing, even if it's new, you know. I should have a look, but I don't feel like climbing here through all the never mind. Very important here, very important. The founder of the Templars was here, Jacques de Molay. And these, I tell you again, these were the second and the third sons and the fourth sons who wanted to rule as well. And this is why the French king, he arrested them all on Friday the 13th, or almost all, and he tried them 7 years later in 1314. And 1307, when he arrested them, that was just 16 years after they already had founded Switzerland, so they were in safety. And they could prepare for the New World Order. This is where the New World Order started, partially, together with some other Templar sites, but this is a very important one. You can house a lot of guys in here, and the surroundings, even tents. Look, and there's the well of the Templars. Another one probably next to it, or a grave. But that's the well of the Templars. Yeah, and there it is. Here he is again, the Templar dude. Looks like a Saracen to me. Very important. Just opposite the Templar stronghold. Probably noticed me hours before Templars there. So you see, I'm next to the Templars stronghold where I slept. Oh look, this is a safe. Somebody nicked a slave, tied it onto a rock, and dumped the rest in the lake here. Yeah, well, you see, it's all marshes. It's part of the river here, and on the other side is the biggest forest there. It starts there, of France. It goes for real big. It's the second largest not pine trees forest in France. And well, the Templars, the New World Order started in France. And why in the east of France? Why there's so much in the east? Because in the Middle Ages it was all forest and swamps and mountains, nothing. The French kings, they were all in the west, you know, and in the south, more in the west, on the Loire river. So the primogenitura, the first sons, les dauphins, they were all in the west. So there was all forest. They could hide there, you know, and organize, and that's what they did, you know. It's still all forest in the east of France. You know, it's unbelievable. You wouldn't say so, you know. If you think of France, you think of Paris and, you know, the Mediterranean beaches, Nice, Arabs in the sand in Nice. You know, but it's all forest. It's really more than anywhere else maybe in Europe this way, mountains and forests, and in Italy, to the north of Italy. So yeah, and then they had to escape, and they went to Switzerland, where they realized the New World Order, and which is their base. So the New World Order started in France, and it got realized in Switzerland. And now the biggest military base is, of course, the United States, yeah, with all their obelisks and everywhere. But as you know, it all came, the American Revolution, it all came from France, you know, against the English king. So, but Switzerland still is the most important base where it's all, where these sort of things all are, you know. Well, it's funny, next to the Templars stronghold, I find a safe, yeah, quite rusty, and it's tied onto a rock, as if it wouldn't sink by itself, you know. You know, what would be needed to sink the other thing first, you know? Maybe it needs the safe to sink the rock with the rope on it, you know. I mean, these things are so incredibly heavy. So next to the Templar stronghold, the Templars treasure, and, you know, Switzerland, the base of it all, where all the money is, I find this here. So I slept next to the Templars stronghold last night, and these are all swamps next to the river. It's quite a big river. It's called le Doubs, D-O-U-B-S.
It's called Le Forêt de la Choux, the biggest forest in France and the second biggest non-pine tree forest. I forgot the name of it. You know, all these trees with leaves on it that fall in winter. I forgot the name. Well, it's this kind of forest. It's huge. You can walk in there, you know, for weeks and get lost. Here's the beginning of an immense forest. Well, here you won't see it even, but it's dense. This is only the beginning, you know. Immense. So I think in these days, you know, that's why the New World Order, they kept their forests, because here they could organize in the east of France. Just as they make a terrorist attack on Friday the 13th. You know, they want to be reminded of amongst each other, and you know, and I've shown you now that the Templars really organized very strongly in the forest areas of the northeast of France. So then Switzerland wasn't very far anymore, and they just went over and made a holy, or rather unholy, alliance with Swissy, with the Swiss people, and breeded with them, you know, the Templars. So Switzerland, Suisse, they became the Sœurs d'Isis, the sisters of Isis. As their descendants, you know, what came out of it, the Freemasons, they all show this sort of Isis things, the whole pharaonic. I don't want to utter that word. Yeah. So east of France, it's an incredible, large, big, huge forest, and it starts right there where this Templar thing is, you know, the Templar stronghold. So for me, there's no doubt at all that they keep it like this. There's probably a lot of things here, and a lot of hideouts in this forest, and they want to keep it like that. Yeah, I mean, they got all the power to do so, and they say, well, we want to keep a forest somewhere, a big one, for the animals and all that, so we can go hunting. And actually, in the east of France, you know, the Frenchies, they don't even have money to pay €1,000 a year, you know, to go hunting. So it's all Swiss hunting in France, and they're Templars. So nothing has changed. Nothing has changed. They got the dough. They come hunting. I've been talking with French hunters. They told me that. So French kings, they were mostly in the west of France, on the Loire River, where all the castles are. And the Templars were mostly hiding in the east and in the south of France, in the northeast, where they finally ended up, and they crossed the border to Switzerland. Well, there still is a natural border, the Rhine, and you know the mountains really start there. You know, so it's a really fantastic stronghold. You know, and they had to make an alliance with Swissy. You know, and they did. And then they killed the Gypsies, the Jews, they killed the 28 million Russians, and it goes on and it goes on. Now it's the Arabs' turn. The Turks will be next. I tell you, they will be next. Erdogan is one of them. Oh yeah. Here it says, there's some, well, let's have a look what it says. So this just part of this huge forest. It's a section of it. And it's much larger, and this is the only road, you know, in it. Otherwise, afterwards there are no more roads at all. So I don't even want to be there much longer. So yeah, good. So this is another, you know, another point, you know, that the Templars concentrated so much, you know, before they here in the south. In the large forest and swamps areas and mountain areas in the northeast of France, in the Jura and the Franche-Comté, Alsace, and especially here. And before they crossed over to Switzerland, so we can just follow the road, the itinerary where how they did it, how it all went, you know. Very important. This is very important. And in Salins-les-Bains, I really saw that there is a real big stronghold. There was a big stronghold in those days, and there still is, of the Masons before they crossed over. So here we can see the itinerary of the
of the Templars, who brought the New World Order and who are aristocrats. Okay, let's go on. I still have to walk a long way through marshes and large forest areas. So I think I'm going to take this road up here, this path here. You remember the Cajun people and their lovely Cajun music and the Mississippi Delta and all that, and the who are French descent. New Orleans, it's Nouveau Orléans, it's French, you know. Orléans was also where the king was living, so he gave the name, you know. But anyway, it's from the word Cajun, Cadien. They call themselves Cadiens, and they're probably the toughest people in the entire United States. The way they're living, and or you can see it, you know. Tougher than the Texas Ranger. Well, they're mostly Swiss, like Alex Jones, yeah. Tougher than the real hillbillies. These guys here are tough as nails, and they still live like this here, you know. It's like Cajun country here. Look, it's like Mississippi. They're all fishing here and hunting, and you know, forest, lakes, river, water. Cold. It's very cold here. It gets it gets colder here than in Scandinavia, I think. Because well, in the south of Scandinavia, it's a lot of sea climates, you know. But here it's get real cold. It's mountainous. It's a land climate. So this is like Cajun people here, really. The toughest nails. Not like you imagine a French, like, you know, like a puff bastard from Paris, you know, a macho guy from the Mediterranean. Oh no, this is different here. Absolutely different. And yeah, wow, okie dokie, that's enough. Yeah, of course I meant Louisiana. That's where that's probably the toughest Yanks you can get. They are French origin, you know, the guys who can survive, and you know, and eating snakes and crocs, and well, there are no crocs here, fortunately, but this is where they get from, and they call it Louisiana because of the French King Louis, who called it New Orleans because Nouveau Orléans, that's where he was living. Yeah, right. So it's like Louisiana. It's just slightly bit colder. There's the other place yesterday where I tried to sneak in there through the arches there. I think there was a yeah. Actually, these guys here, they have a saying in this area. It's like this. It's Old French. It's comptoir, rends-toi, ne nie ma foi. And it means comptoir. This is the area here. It means you can give up and surrender. Yeah, you can surrender, but don't give up your willpower. It's like what I did. You know, I got imprisoned by the Swiss, but they didn't get my willpower. I'm still here. Hey, Swissy. Interesting. The word Cajun. It came back into French like Cajun. But it's from the English, you know, English word Cajun. But they call themselves Cadiens, actually. And the word Canadien, it's from there. They also call themselves Cadiens. So the word Canada is actually from Louisiana, which is probably from here. Yeah, well, that's it. So I hear this road going to this Templar stronghold. It's called Rue de la Résistance. Now I know what they mean. It's not the Second World War, the Resistance Road. It's the resistance by the Templars, of course, who made the Second World War. And this is the road going there. And on the other side there's the Templar Road, the Templars' place, all the commandery. Well, yeah, there you go. On the other side, you know, still next to it, like the Resistance Road, you know, there's Pharaoh. Yeah, there it is. It's all pharaonic Templars. And this is the Grail. That means our blood is here, our descendants is here. Sort of a castle, I don't know what. Probably more to see. what does it say, MS? Yeah, interesting. So there's the road to the Templar stronghold. You know, with the tele lens I've got on it, it should be entirely visible, the dark side of the moon, but I don't see anything. It's all entirely blue. Especially after 9/11, that, you know, everything is a lie, you know, it's so clear. Maybe if I look at the monitor I can see something, but I don't think there's anything. And this light, they say this is a reflection of the sun, but the sun is out, you know, it's on the other side, so it should be shining on the moon entirely, but it doesn't. It's all a lie. And this light, you know, it's like an LED lamp, you know, it's shining so bright, you know, this is not the reflection of some sun, you know, in the night. It's something else. This is the only light, the only tunnel. It looks like a tunnel. This is the only tunnel that, you know, people have been describing with a near-death experience, you know, going in there. A tunnel, like opening up and closing down. I should have a look at the monitor. But this is a quite, you know, it's a good tele lens on it. It should perfectly show the dark side of the moon, but there isn't. Or maybe this one is the light, the heavens, the paradise, where there's light. It's shining light, a lot of light, you know, like in the night, which is not the reflection of the sun. Bull. Look, it's all blue on the other side. It has even been shown clouds on the other side of the moon. Now, and the other planet around us, that's the fire of hell, probably. I mean, look, the light is here, the bright light, paradise, and the other one is the fire. This is what they've been talking about all these years, you know, isn't it? Hey. Here in the east of France, next to Besançon, there's a place called Dame Martin of the Templars. Dame Martin, les Templiers. Templier is the French word for Templars. This building here is called the Temple, from the Templars. Here you can see the Swiss cross, absolutely. And there in the window, as I filmed before, you know, the Freemason skirts, as I showed in Gréoux-les-Bains, you know, with the Templars V in it. So this is a Freemason Templars lodge, there's no doubt at all. Here in Salins-les-Bains. So here it says something about the Templars. Just pause it. So here, from this side, it looks more like a Templar's cross, of course. But it's, there you are. But it's the Swiss on a temple. It's like on the Swiss Army knife. It's even called Rue du Temple, the Templars, well, the lodge of the Templars. Here it is. Old, it's very old. From the first Crusades on. This is where they organized. And this place is very important because they found salt here. Salins-les-Bains, that's where a lot of salt, so they got very rich also with this here, with the salt business. And again, the Freemasons are here, there's no doubt about that. So this was the Templars chapel here, and it's in very bad condition here. It's empty. So this is still a Freemason lodge, there's no doubts about that. Here's when they probably went up the stairs. And that's where the king was, you know, the primogenitura, the first sons. There are two castles here, you know, enclosing the valley. And so while these guys were down in the village, you know, conspiring against the king quite openly, well, not entirely openly, well, the cross is too small, the Templars cross. So here was the Templars cross here, and this is the building. So just under his nose they were conspiring. And this is not very far from that other town called Dam Martin of the Templars. But there wasn't very much more to see there. Next to here there's also a Jesuit chapel. I'm going to have a look at it now. And of course the curtains are like in a V form of the Templars. And it's red and white for the United Kingdom of Pharaoh. Red and white, as always. I don't know what that means, it's only red. Well, red are actually the it's Lower Egypt, and there are fewer of them. They are the first sons. So one night later, the same moon. It's midnight. There's no sun, and they say, well, it's the sun shining on it. But it's a completely different angle now. There's no sun at all. But it's still the same. Before the sun was in a different angle, it was in the sky. Now there's no sun. So how come it's still the same crescent moon or half moon? It says this is a Jesuit church in Salins-les-Bains. You can read it. It doesn't say very much in English. Église Notre-Dame. So there you go. This is a Jesuit church. This place is really a stronghold of evil. You know, the Templars, and, you know, Freemasons. Very rich because of the salt, which was the gold of the Middle Ages. The gold, you know. And you see a Jesuit church. And as you know, the Jesuits, they were assigned, you know, to, there's even the sun hieroglyph here. The Jesuits were assigned, you know, by the Pope to kill all the Protestants, to get rid of them. The guys who, you know, who really looked into the Bible and what it is, you know. So this is the other castle enclosing the valley with another king, you know. While downtown the Freemasons, like the Templars, they were all like conspiring against them. And this is another Jesuit chapel just right next to the other one. The other one is there, you know, you see the church here. That's the Templars church. This is another Templars, a Jesuit church, and this is another Jesuit chapel, it says. Let's have a closer look. It's an evil place here in the northeast of France, but the people are quite nice. Here it says the Jesuits came here in 1623, so that's 5 years after the beginning of the 30-year war, where Swiss mercenaries killed, you know, like 2/3 of the German population. So this is in the northeast of France. It's not very far from Switzerland. There's a lot of Swiss, you know, buying houses here and properties here. So that's the old Jesuit door. You know, real evil guys. This is the whole building here. It's all very old here. So just think of the Pope's Guard, you know, of the Vatican. There's all Swiss. So probably crawling with Swiss here in those days, you know. Again, the Templars chapel. This is placed in the northeast of France, not very far from Switzerland. Really is a stronghold of Templars, Jesuits, the two Jesuit churches next to each other. The Freemasons still are there, you could see that on the curtains. A very important place, and it's crawling with Swiss anyway. Very near to the Swiss border, as always. No, you know. What a weird statue, also in Salins-les-Bains, the Pope with sort of an extraterrestrial here. Hey, man. What happened to humanity, eh? There's still the castle here. One lord on this side here and another lord on the other side. And in the middle here is the town. It seems like there's nothing on the dark side of the moon. Absolutely nothing. Well, there's nothing on the other side of the dark side of the moon. There's nothing. I got a big tele lens on it. After 9/11, oh, today it is 9/11 in fact, 2016, well, we know it's all a lie. They lie about everything, and we are their slaves. That's why you have a personal slave number, you know, on your passport or anything, and there is a control of the Knights of the King, you know, that you have to show it, you know, and they put a bloody chip in it, which you should grill it like in a microwave. Yeah. So this is a map of, this is the place Salins-les-Bains. So this is the other castle on the hill. And here is this castle here, number 10, you see, number 10. And here it says number 10, it's owned privately. Somewhere there. There it is, private, privé. So, what is Pharaoh doing there, you know? There he is. With the Freemason Lodge. Here, look at the bridge here. You know, you never get in here. So what are they doing here, you know, with the Freemason Lodge below? An old Templars reunion place, you know, for children. They always did this, you know, with children and torturing us, these pharaohs and who became the aristocracy. They are the ones who've always been doing this, and they continue to do so. And on top of it, you can see the pharaonic flag, blue, red, white and blue. The pharaonic colors, red and white of the United Kingdom and blue for the war. And they're up for war now. Everywhere you see the French flag everywhere. There's a war coming up. Concentration camps, put the Muslims in there this time. Look, it looks like a Freemason lodge here. What a weird place, man. This is an entrance of a house here. What a weird place. What is this, man? Ok.
Quand il y a beaucoup de pluie, en fait, l'eau elle arrive jusqu'ici, jusqu'au travers qu'on voit tout le long. Et en fait, à ce niveau-là, au niveau d'ici, l'eau elle s'arrête, elle est haute comme ça, il y a 2-3 cm d'eau, pas plus.
Alors ici, ils ont lavé les cadavres.
Ici, ouais, ils lavaient les cadavres dans le temps, et puis en fait, les caves ici, c'était où ils emplaçaient les morts, en fait.
So here we're next to the Templars place here, and they used to wash the bodies here in this water here. And the guy says when it rains a lot, the water gets all the way to the to here, but funny enough, it gets very high, but it doesn't go to the other caves here. It just stops here, which is like impossible to understand. It's so the water gets that high, so logically it would get everywhere. So in this house there's a lot of drug addicts and a lot of, he's one of them, and next to the Templars, and I mean they make all the money with it, you know, they give social security to the drug addicts so they can exploit the drugs coming from Afghanistan, and which the Taliban actually they forbid it. Yeah. Okay, merci, très intéressant. You can clearly see the cloud is behind the moon. The moon is, I don't know, what is it, 100,000 kilometers away or million kilometers, and the cloud is behind it? Get the fuck out of here. Look at that, the cloud is behind the moon. Everything is a lie. Yeah. Look, there's a village here, and I'm not joking. So I'm here, back in this town here. I came here by accident, almost, you know, like in Salé-les-Bains, in the east of France, where here you can see the big Swiss cross. And behind it, you know, there's a Jesuit chapel, and next to it, the Jesuit church. It looks like a barrack. So in those times, you know, of the 30-year war, 1618 to 1648, these were the barracks. It was full of Swiss mercenaries, you know, where they were like preparing for the raid on Germany, killing 20 million Germans, and occupying a huge lump, a huge chunk of Germany, you know, being like a buffer zone. So why is there a Swiss cross? Of course, you know, and it's all under Templar command. So this is this town here, where there's here a Templars chapel. It looks like a barracks, and next to it as well. I can't, you know, there's the sun shining in it. So, and next to it here, well, you can hear it ringing. There's a, no, it's another one. That one there, there's the Templar, the Jesuit church, and behind that there's a temple of the Templars and a chapel of the Templars, which I already filmed before. This is a very important town here because of the sword was found here. So here we also find the origins, actually, the Templars, the Jesuits. You know, the Jesuits were a military order with a general and a black pope, who's now the Pope Francis. You know, we saw him this year in an airplane. He said, well, the homosexuals, they're sweet guys, he said, you know, like, sort of, and we must just let them live, and, you know, they're sweet boys and all that, you know. So that's a guy who believes, he sort of says he believes in God's creation. Well, get out of there, you know, come on. Of course he doesn't. And anyway, those homos don't, you know, because that was not God's creation, you know. Two guys, you know, behind each other. No, well, that's the Templars, actually. Two guys behind each other on a church, like. And so here's the Swiss cross. And here we find also the origins of the Second World War and all the genocides going on. And here was sort of there was a genocide on the Germans this time, and they're the ones. So I didn't see it the last time when I was filming. I saw it when I looked at the footage, and some good YouTubers, they told me about it as well afterwards. And you know, if you're filming, sometimes you don't see it. You're so busy. I mean, a lot of people don't even see it. It's so big, you just walk past it, you know? It's just too big. A Swiss cross here. This is a Swiss cross, you know, and it's white even. Templars, the Jesuits, it's all Swiss. And now the Islamic State, well, there are two Islamic states, there's the real one and the one infiltrated, well, that's also Swiss, financed by the Swiss Templars. They're behind it all, I tell you. So here are we, the Europeans, sleeping outside. And there are many more, you know, there's just a bit of it. After, just behind the second bridge here in Strasbourg, there is the center where they like sort of hatch the new eggs, you know, these reptilians or whatever they are. Where it's a school called Lunar, and they are in a Templars building. That's what I was telling you. The Freemasons, they came out of the Templars, so they still are in the same building. That's what I've been telling you all the time. How many times I have to tell you this? Yeah, there it is. Yeah. Old Templars from the 11th century. And all French presidents, they pass by these sort of schools. The other school is called Sciences Po. All of them. Oh, they're nice here, like at the River Nile, you know, all these towers. There was a prison, there it is, you know. Europeans sleeping outside under the bridges. These are our masters, yeah. I don't know really what it shows. I have to watch the images, you know, afterwards. Looks nice. Cameras all over, you know. Yeah. And there are more. This is like the bars where they hang out. I saw them yesterday. You know, there and over there is another one. That's where the young pharaohs hang out. It says cold passion. Oh, I'd rather have a hot one. You know. Like being back in good old Switzerland, hey? Your pharaohs. That's why they pick these sort of places. I know places in Switzerland are exactly like this. Tourist here, towers, you know, it used to be a prison. It's really a very strong point of power, very strategical. This is a Templars building from the 11th century, rebuilt in the 16th century. And as you can see here, it's probably a boarding school as well. Look at it. Got their stuff in the fridge outside. And if there would be really some Muslimic terrorists, you know, they would be attacking this instead of some long-haired, heavy metal kids in Paris attending a rock concert with long hair. You know, these are the type of people with the long hair and the kids that these ones here don't want. So, you know, so I'm gonna film the other side as well. Yeah, it's Quai de Malte. Next to the Templars building of the New World Order, and where there's bridges on the other side. So that means the Maltese riverside, yeah. Well, that's what it is, yeah. That's where they're situated, yeah. Of course, like the Order of Malta, that's another Templars order. Because when they were booted out of Jerusalem, you know, and when they went to Switzerland, they stayed in Malta, you know, in the middle of the Mediterranean, which is still, it belongs to the Queen, British Queen. So that's the Maltese riverside from the other side. There's probably more to see, but I don't want to walk there. You see, it's a fortress. The whole thing is a fortress, you know. And Jerry's probably where. And behind there, where the antenna is, there are a big gendarmerie. So it's very strategical, you know. The knights of the King's Knights are just behind the corner. So I'm getting through this medieval Templars bridge, going to the other side. I'm slowly getting there. There's all these weird things here. pharaonic, you know, with the lion, with the sphinx there. Here too. So, and of course, you know, at the entrance I do French and English at the same time because I can only film that once before they boot me out. That's quite sure. So this is the other side. Here's the bridge here. And there's the cops are there. You see all the blue vans here. And they're not here to help. The cops are not here to help the poor people, you know, sleeping under the bridge. Yeah, they probably boot them out again. Poor guy sleeping outside. He's booed outside of his, at the camera, looking at, watching him. Just right there where they forged the new French president, you know, where the aristocracy is. Where the kids of the pharaoh, the aristocratic pharaohs, where they are being formed, right here. And there's the main police station behind it here, the building there, where you see the... I'm not getting any closer where the flags are, real big. I'm not going to film it, or maybe I am. You see, it's a huge police barracks. They also live here, just like the future French presidents. They live here, you know. And you see, I'm not going to stay here too long. And the school is just behind here. You see, they put the king's knights, you know, just next to the school. This was here first, and they put the other thing next to it, you know, so to. Well, you have to secure the safety of your kids, you know. Somebody might come, might get some bad ideas. Cops coming up, you know. Better stop now. And then again, the flag here on the thing here, it's showing crowns, you know. There, crowns. That's pharaonic flag. I'll show that in the my videos. Right. So that says the Prime Minister. Yo, that says this is like École Nationale, the National Administration School. They use a euphemism for it, you know. And there it says too here. There's a thing here. Yeah, Prime Minister. And the whole building belongs to it here too. So there's this building too, right? Alors, c'est ici, je ne vais pas rester trop longtemps. Premier ministre. The guy is already coming here.
Monsieur, vous filmez? Oh, vous filmez?
English.
No, French.
Speak English. What do you want? What do you want?
No, French.
English.
French. No,
English.
No English.
Yeah, well, too bad. So I'm here inside the building. Really very interesting. It's all the triangle. Fascinating. So these are the signatures of the. This is quite old, probably from the 11th century, where the guys who did the stonework, where they put their signature on it, and you can see the Templars V on it 2 times, one upside down and one the other way around, and with a cross. So here are the keys of the prison, and here it used to be a prison afterwards, and here are the chains, the chain gang, and so they use this in the door here as a remembrance of what it was before. And there's what it is now. It's a school on the right side here inside, and that symbolizes the prison there, what it used to be. It's sort of broken. So the guy who opened the door for me and who let me in, he was very friendly. I promised not to film him. He was 7 years in the police, and he is a Templar. He's in the Templars order. And of course the door you saw, I couldn't say it because he was standing next to me. The keys you saw, it means, like in this school where the new leaders, the new rulers are being formed, it means we have the key. And the chains, it means you are imprisoned. You are the enchained, you know, in chains. That's what it meant. So there you get some information about it. Commanderie Saint-Jean, yeah. Lunar. There it is, from the top to the bottom. Yeah. Well, anyway, you can look it up yourself, you know. But the if there really would be, like, you know, Muslim terrorists, you just saw the Muslim in a uniform, you know. So why would they have their children, you know, be protected by a guy they have put in a Muslim Arab? They put in a uniform, you know, because there are no Muslim terrorists. There are none. These are the most important. These are the children of Pharaoh, you know, being formed to be the king, you know, for 4, 5 or 7 years. And you think that really, if there would be Muslim terrorists, you really think that they would, you know, they would put an Arab in a uniform to protect their children? It's all a lie. You can see that. It's a lie. It's a lie. They lie, they lie, they lie. There are no Muslim terrorists. They do it themselves. It's a lie. You know, and just think about the euphemism. They call it the National Administration School. It's more like they put us all in chain school, you know. And we saw the chains. And actually the chains, you can only see them from the inside. So only actually, you know, not from the inside, the outside. So they can see them, you know, when the door's closed. So they can, it's a message to themselves, you know. And it's a euphemism. An administrative school, come on. I have a slight idea that these Templars, they must be here somewhere. Because they left their sword here. Ah, there they are. Yeah. Look, here it still says Maison Rouge. Here used to be the Hotel Maison Rouge. Now it's here it's the Fnac. There it is, Fnac, and all this, the whole building here. And this is where, in the last weeks of the war in 1945, the elusive octagon, they came together. And you know, this is why they call it Maison Rouge. It means the Red House, which is Lower Egypt, the Père Tasse, not a house to live in, but a royal house, just like the White House, the Père Het. So they all come together, and this is why they call it the Red House of the Red Lineage of the Pharaohs, you know. And here it says Orange, like the royal house of the Low Countries, I think it's called. Yeah. So they came here together and they said, well, what were you going to do with all the money we stole, you know, the gold of the Jews and the gold reserves of France and Poland and everything. So they said, well, we're gonna put it in Switzerland and in Liechtenstein, which is a principality. There's a prince, you know. So here's a sort of a square, you know. It's called the Place Kléber, and maybe the cops are demonstrating. They were demonstrating here with guns and all, and police cars and all that. Ah, so there it is again on the square, Maison Rouge, the Red House Pharaohs. And actually, about the Red House and the White House, you know, the Red House were actually the original pharaohs, you know. And the White House, they were the revolutionary ones, or the second and the third sons, and that's why there's the White House in Washington D.C. Actually, they already started a sort of a new world order because the second and the third sons, they wanted to rule too, and that's why they went south to a place called Amarna. So here's that square, and here they gathered together in a hotel that used to be here on the Place Kléber in Strasbourg in France. The elusive octagon. This is the last time, you know, well, it got obvious because there was a French
secret agent was there, and he heard it all, where they surfaced above the water, you know, like, well, I know more about them, and I've seen them more like afterwards, but officially that was the last time. Yeah, look, liberty, equality, fraternity, with the pharaonic Isis and the pharaonic flag here. So this is a French school, you know. So they show they don't want to have any Muslim children or Muslim girls with the headscarf, you know, and the what do they call it, the burqa. But at the same time, you know, all this New World Order shit they show, you know. But what is it actually? What is the liberty, equality and fraternity? That's only that between the firstborn son, the primogenitura, and the second and the third born son, that they have equality. They're all the same and they all can be the king, and there's fraternity. They can all be the king for a period of 4, 5 or 7 years, and they're going to vote. And the fraternity, there are no more fratricide, you know, brother killings, and liberty, they're all free. They don't have to go into a monastery. That's what it means, liberty, equality, fraternity. Just like the democracy is not for us, it's for our masters, pharaonic masters, so they can be chosen, you know, elected democratically. It's not for us, only for them. And the moment they're elected, they do what they want anyway. So there are 3 flags. I don't know, it's a Alsatian flag and the pharaonic flag and a European flag. It's all the same. Well, lycée, it says lycée, that's a school, you know. Look, there's a crown in the Alsatian flag, you know. What do you want, you know? The gold probably represents the white, so that's red and white. The old colors of the aristocracy. School. You know, look, even Freemason checkerboards in the real good colors, red and white. These are the real pharaonic colors, as in a Freemason lodge, but you won't always find, you know, the black stones, you know, full of cameras for the kids, so they can get used to it already, you know. Ah. Okay. So the sea is over there. You see, oh, you can see some ships. And the mountains are all over there. Yeah. And here's the Templars church. I'm here in an old Templar church of the Knights Templars at the Via Templare, Templars Road in Albenga, Italy, where the Knights Templars went through, bringing the Templars treasure from Pharaoh's Egypt into Switzerland, founding the Swiss banks with it. Listen to the prayer inside the Templars church. So this is a Templars church. It's between Seriale and Albenga. Already filmed in Albenga some Templar stuff, you know, in 2014. It's closed. So this is probably it will open up on Saturday. I'll try to come back on Saturday if I'm still here. So there's an Italian cemetery. There are no obelisks. So this is on the way, you know, from Rome and Sicily and Jerusalem, going to Switzerland. So that's why there's so many Germans and Swiss in the mountains. I even just talked to a Duke before. Yeah, we get some more stuff on it. So this, as you can see, it's a very old church. It's a Templars church in Italy, in the north of Italy, in Liguria, on the way to Switzerland, between Jerusalem and Switzerland. So here they, you know, you can see there's a lot of mountains here. It's even snow-tipped, as you can see there. You know. So it's a lot of good places to hide stuff, eh? Before they bring it to Switzerland. As I showed you before in some videos in 2014. There's the old Templars door.
probably fixed it, put a new one in it. So there's Chiesa di San Giorgio. It's from the 11th century. Well, the one in France I filmed, that was with the pentagram in front of it. That one was old. Much older. This one. San Giorgio. Here it says the 13th century. Jesus Christ and dear God, the Creator of all, please free us, me and my family, from the Swiss evil, whose hearts are full of hatred, whose tongues only tell lies, and where lies accumulated wealth of the world. Well, that's the other side of the church. You can see it's very old. You can see that the pillars. 6 bows. Apparently this one here is Saint Christoph. It's the one who protects the travelers. The travelers. So I made it. I'm inside the Templars church. I just asked some people and well, they said, okay, you know, it's possible. In Italy, everything is always possible, you know. Not like in Switzerland, you know, they're all by the rule, or, you know. And, well, this is all in Italian. And she said here, so it is a Templars church, even the road next to it is called the Templar Road, going to Jerusalem. So here she said, the woman, she was really nice, that's my backpack. She said, well, here is this is very old, it's like, 1,000 years old or something, and it's showing the hell, you know. And there are this is the mouth of hell, and here you can purify yourself and then go to heaven. And of course in heaven there is a king. The king. Pharaoh. There's a lot of symbolics here. I probably don't see it now. I have to look at it later. You know, then I always see these symbolic of symbology of things. You know. Oh, this is the little door I just saw before. And very old. But the other one in France was much older. I filmed. There was the one in France was destroyed by the Saracens, by the Arabs in 900. So it's interesting. 200 years before the Crusades, the Arabs completely, you know, they had a jihad going on in Europe, you know, and completely destroyed the village of the town of Manosque. Like, well, it's all in Italian. I film it, so if you read Italian. Well, good luck to you. I was wrong. This is the little Templar's door here. Or whatever. People were small in those days. So it says Valle, you know, that reminds me, you know, like here, Manuel Valls. He's the Prime Minister of France. They're all Templars, you know, and he's like buried in this church. Or, I mean, the people with the same family name. I mean, you must be very influential, you know, to be buried in a church like this. And this is not, it was 1926, you know, and 1973, so that's not long ago. Only Templars get buried here. I could mount on the table and, you know, like have a better view, but no, I prefer not, maybe. And it's very hard to see, but you see that bird there? very hard to see from down here. This is interesting. You see the skull? It's Templar stuff, you know, with the skull. That's why they blindfold, you know, the Templars, the Masons. This is Masonic stuff. And here, so first there's the king, the pharaoh. Where is he? There he is. And above it is Ma'at. So the you know, with the scales and the swords. Well, she looks like Madonna, you know, with the wings and everything, or like, you know, all those pop stars, you know, exactly the same thing, in a Templar's costume, more like a knight, you know. You see that? Yeah. And above that, I'll just take another. So above that, there's a guy with a snake around it. You see the snake here? The Ouroboros. You know, it's a diabolical symbol. I think there was the head of the snake somewhere. So this is not God. This is the devil. And of course he is, you know, because this is Swiss. This is Templar stuff. Is that a head? No, it looks like a head. They believe in the devil, you know, the Templars. And on top of the devil there's the octagon, with another dude in it. It would be very interesting, you know, to be able to read this here. I'll probably see that later, and there in the book. Oh, look at Templar's cross. Yeah. It's probably the satanic stuff of their satanic Bible of the Templars, you know. Yeah, and then the devil in the Ouroboros, you know, he's in an oval. He's having the Oval Office up there. See? It's all aristocracy, pharaohs, you know, and well, that's us, that's mankind lying there, getting killed by the aristocracy with the pharaonic stuff and the devils. So the woman that opened the church for me, here's the church. It said this is Via Templare. So this is the Templars road, this one here, going to the one side to Albania and to Switzerland, and the other side is going to Jerusalem, or Egypt, of course, you know, as we just saw Ma'at in the church as well. So this is the Via Templare, as she told me. So this is the very old Templars church. Jesus Christ, the dear God, the Creator of all, please free us, me and my family, from the Swiss evil, whose hearts are full of hatred, whose tongues only tell lies, and what lies Lucifer's accumulated wealth of the world. Devil, thy name is Swiss. Satan, thy house is Switzerland. Please set us free from Swiss bondage and end the Swiss terror. Amen.